Hey guys, and welcome back to Smells Like Teen Angst, and we are here to talk about Gossip Girl Season 2, Episode 1. So, let's do it. Oh, I can unmute you myself. Look how fancy it is over here on StreamYard. As always, I am here with my friends to talk about this fabulous show. Shawn, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Shawn from Lost in the Real, and I am so excited to be back talking with you lovely ladies about Gossip Girl Season 2.
Whoop, whoop.
And I'm Keiki, and I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, Keiki.
Yeah, we're ready to be back, guys. So, in case viewers don't know, we get to watch this a little early and record these a little early, and with screeners. My first thought when watching was, I really hope the aired episode has a recap because I sure don't remember how everything ended last time.
I'm so happy that you said that, Sarah, because I totally forgot everything. Completely out of mind.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
It's been so long. And then first season was split up into two weird parts. Mm-hmm. So if I remember some of it, Davis, Julian's dad, is in jail or house arrest or something for the assault of that girl. Julian, yes. So that's why she's now living with Zoya and her dad. There's a falling out, and then there's a throuple. And that's all I really remember.
I think that's all that the show remembers.
I remembered New Year's, and that was it.
You remember what happened on New Year's, Kiki?
Remember, because they invited Obie's girlfriend, and then they tried to blackmail her and all this random shit to make her seem bad. And then he ended up leaving with her, and Zoya and Julian patched their shit up.
Yeah. And that's why, and so she's now, they're now living together. It's the gist of it. Overall thoughts on this first episode? Liked it, disliked it, similar vibe, different vibe from last year? Because we had a lot of complaints last season.
We did.
What'd you guys think of first, overall vibe? Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it? What are you thinking before we dive into actual details?
I was pleasantly surprised. I feel like the production value has kind of gone up, and maybe some of the young actors have gotten a little bit more comfortable on screen. They seem a little bit more organic and authentic in their performances, whereas last season, it was a little bit of a struggle with some of their performances. I still am just struggling to care about these characters, though.
I don't think their acting has gotten any better.
Yes.
So that's all very much the same. But I was actually happy to see some actual power dynamics that aren't just siblings fighting. Mm-hmm. In this first episode. We set up villains, and kind of where Gigi was standing. And cool. We know where she's at, how it's working. It exists in this world. And I think they heard us maybe, and we're on our way to something or another. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the writers and the showrunner heard a lot of the complaints of the old fans and even the new fans. Mm-hmm. And I think that they're trying to tackle that is what I'm going to say with this first episode.
I would agree.
So this episode starts off where we see Julian is helping Gossip Girl, which I think is great. Mm-hmm. When she sends her that whole list of fake news with real news, we paused it to read it. Did you?
Yes, I did.
And there was some really great little fun things to pick out what was the real stuff and what were the fun lies. I thought that was really smart and really, really, really fun. And then they used it as a plot device throughout the episode in order to release the news, give Gossip Girl power again. and like, you know, revalidate her in her ways, and like see Julian just kind of like, I don't know, it's crazy. I don't know what's happening. I don't get it.
I have no idea, dear gossip girl.
Under the table, at the locker, like so not
I'm
even
so
like
glad you let go of social media. Me too. Yeah.
Zoya has bad hair. Like Monet had a mullet. Like it's just the petty. I love in this episode Julian's struggle to be a good person while fighting her true nature is kind of like what I feel like we see. Monet and Luna in the beginning of this episode, I'm like, are we really gonna just have them be throwaway again? We've complained so much, right? Like Shawn, I see you begging.
Yeah. We were begging all last season for these two characters to get some kind of arc or something. And I felt at the end of the season, they were really like, okay, they were gonna try to do it. And then I felt the same way at the beginning here. I was like, we're doing this again. But luckily they do seem to be fixing this.
A little bit. I think Luna is still left to the side a little bit, and with their real bad wigs.
Yeah. The wigs. Oh my God. A moment of silence for these wigs. Everybody's hair in this show is a mess. Like Audrey's fucking weave is it's like worse than Britney Spears stuff. And you know, Britney has been through it. So Britney has an excuse. Like Britney doesn't have time for her extensions. You know, she just lets them be. She's always been that girl. Audrey has no excuse. And in this day and age, like Gen Z has had access to the internet and makeup tutorials from the beginning of time. Like they didn't have to go through that ugly phase like millennials where our necks didn't match and we just put one color of eyeshadow on with crooked eyeliner. So it's like everybody's makeup and everyone's hair should be on point. You have no excuse.
They also have so much money, so they can afford really good hair.
So much money.
Yeah.
So it should not look like there's horsehair in her head. Like it should look human. And I'm just struggling with these Party City wigs.
It's just, it is, you know, we are, every once in a while, I'm like, oh, they did a good job. And then also we flash back to when they filmed it 3 days ago and it was bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if you caught that, but I sure did. Zoya and Julian, as I said, are now living together, and they are having only child syndromes of having to come together and live with someone else. And if you are a teenager and have never had a sibling, that is a relationship and a dynamic that you have to like grow with and earn, and it doesn't always get better. So, you know, I'm not an only child. I know Keiki is not. Shawn, do you have siblings?
I do have siblings, but they are way older than me. So I grew up as an only child, but with siblings much older. So I still kind of have that only child syndrome for sure.
You're like, look, I like my things the way they are. It's
I did not have to share a bathroom. No, I'm like, oh, like
I know.
I have like reminiscent moments of me and my older sister when Jules is flooding the bathroom with steam because my older sister has always been like, wear the hair curly, girl. And when I was in high school, I burnt the living life out of my hair to be straight, which means no humidity and no water can come in contact with it. And I was just like, do you have to destroy the bathroom every morning?
Yeah. I felt this scene. Shawn, be grateful. Julian
be like that.
You know, Julian has decided she wants to go to college, and I love that Kate is her counselor. I think that's a fun little thing that's going to give Gossip Girl more access. I see you. You have a thought? I see this happen.
I do. I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but one of my favorite scenes of this episode is when they're like passive aggressively talking to each other and then texting each other at the same time.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
It's so good. We can talk about that now because like she walks up to her, she's like, "It's you," and then like they're sitting. I loved that. I'm like, but my only thing was, do they really have the sound on their phone? And is that for us, or was that happening?
Yeah. Like for me, I'm like, please tell me it's on silent. Like.
Because I don't think either one of them is that dumb. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, Kate knows that Julian's text messaging her, but like, Julian, if she hears that oddly at the same time that she's sending a message, she's not an idiot. So,
right.
I was like, why are we
It was
digging?
definitely used for dramatic effect, I'm sure.
Just like, is it for the? It has to be for me. Like, it just has to be for the audience. That's my. And Zoya and Shan are still besties. And I'm so glad this character is back. She was one of the characters that came towards the end of last season that I thought breathed so much fresh, needed air into it. So I'm really, really, really glad to have her back.
Yes, I completely agree. I think she does the same in this episode too. I really like her. And I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but interesting revelation in her character as well. So that's intriguing.
Right? I was like, oh, look at this growth. We're giving characters growth. Almost everybody.
Character arcs? What?
Character arcs? Storylines? Until we get here to the throuple, because Aki, Audrey, and Max are still together, and we are still in the same spot that they refuse to be out and about, even though Max is going insane because he loves them and just wants everyone to know that he loves them, and they're just treating him like garbage. And being so, I think it's so mean, especially because then they're like, yes, we'll go out and we'll have our outing. And then they go to this like old people restaurant where no one eats.
Yeah, it's just like, at first I'm like, if you're going to be ashamed about it, then don't do it. Like, I was uncomfortable. Especially we go into this like Valeria kind of storyline where Max is now seeking like, I don't know, opinions from the people around him about this situation. And they're making it seem like, well, you should wait. You should be patient. You're rushing it, this and that. And I was just like,
no,
wait, what? No, like, no, either you want me or you don't. Like, I don't believe in hiding relationships. This is weird.
And that goes against like his character too, which I think was kind of the point that they were trying to get at. But I like that he was genuinely into this relationship and he seems to love the both of them so much. And I want to slap both Aki and Audrey in this episode. I'm so done with them. I'm always done with Audrey, but Aki too now. But then even at the end of the episode, when it's like supposed to be like this moving moment, like, oh yeah, like I'm going to have patience for you. I'm like, no, you need to stand up for yourself and you need to be like, you need to, you know, appreciate me and tell the world or like, I'm done. And so that moment didn't really work for me.
And I think this relationship walks this really weird line between people will come out when they're ready and you can't force them to come out, right? And that's where Aki and Audrey sit. Yeah. And then you have Max, who's been out and proud his entire life with his two amazing fathers, you know, and he's been bisexual. He is who he is. But at the same time, what they did last year, and I think that they were afraid of doing this same thing, especially if they're going to keep this relationship throughout the season, is if Max was to stay true to himself. We had this storyline last season. Yeah. He ended the relationship. They missed each other so much. And then they got back together and it's stagnant and stale.
Yep.
So now we're stuck in that, like, well, you can't force people to come out, but then you also need to respect the character.
Yes. Really good point.
I felt like I was appreciative of the fact that it didn't move forward without us seeing it. You know?
Yeah. Because this show likes to do that.
This show likes to do that. And very much this episode started off with them like in the car coming home from New Year's. So it's like we didn't miss a beat. We're not left behind in anything. But it does feel like it pulls against the characters. Yeah. Kind of take this approach, especially with having the characters who are the most proud of who they are have conversations about they're not ready, and that's okay. Like, well, if they're not ready for you. Like,
Can we talk about? I love the Luna and Max scenes whenever those two characters are together on this show. Like last season 2, I think the show comes alive. Those two are so good, like with each other.
Yeah.
I want to see more of them.
But that's because they're good actors, Shawn.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Like, they're in it. When they're in the scene, they are their characters. And we've said that from day one. Like, they're the only ones we believe. And I still believe them.
I feel like Zoya's gotten a little better. I struggle with Julian and Audrey still a little bit, but
yeah, that's true. I think the people I only struggle with are like Monet, Julian, and Audrey.
Yeah.
Because there's no growth there. When they're in scenes, I don't know if they're talking to. They're just saying their lines. They're not talking to the person next to them.
Yeah.
It's
Aki's gotten a lot better too this season. I think he's been in classes, and I'm very proud of him for that.
I mean, they gave him more than one line this season, so.
Also, speaking of acting, though, I still think the worst actor in the show is Zoya and Zoya's dad, Nick. I think he is the blandest actor ever. And every time he reads a line, I'm just like, oh, God. Do you guys not feel this way?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've seen him in other stuff, and he's so good in everything else. So when I watch him in this show, I'm just like, what happened? And I wonder if it's the character, because I find the character to be dislikable, even in season 1.
Yeah.
And in this episode, he's very much like being a dad and pushing the girls together. And we'll see where he goes. But I wonder if it's just the character, because the character is so bland.
Yeah, I think my thing is I struggle with who the character is and place with the daughters, you know, like Davis, it made it seem like was such the opposite of him. But then as we go on, they seem like they're kind of the same person, but then they're not. But then, you know, he is greedy about money, but then he's not, or he wants to eat the rich, but then he doesn't. He's taking from them. Like, it's very much like, I don't know who he's supposed to be. Like,
yeah.
And I just want a little strength behind him, because there's so much strength behind his kids, you know?
Yes.
Absolutely. Because we know who Zoya is.
Yeah. So like, how do you raise such a strong kid when you're wishy-washy? Like, that doesn't come out of nowhere. Kids who stand up for themselves, like, come from parents who stand up for themselves, you know?
Yeah, that's a great point. And hopefully we'll see what happens with him this season. Give him something interesting to do. I don't know. He wasn't in this episode much. So let's talk Gossip Girl. Kate is still running Gossip Girl, but she's kicked out the other 2 teachers. Too many voices, too many cooks in the kitchen. But I'm glad that those teachers aren't gone completely. And they're still there, still her like little devil and angel on her shoulder when she needs them. And I think that's great. But we do get a new teacher this season. His name is Mike. It was an M.
It was an M name.
It was an M name. It was so fast. And he teaches like Russian literature or something random. And Kate loses her office to him. And I'm like, why are we introducing a new character like this? He's got to be important this season. Like, he's like a new series.
We got rid of other teacher.
Thank God.
The sleeping with students teacher, Rafa.
Yeah, we got rid of Peter teacher, so we need another teacher villain, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely going to be a villain. There's just some things he says that are like literally verbatim what Gossip Girl would say. And I feel like he acts like he doesn't like Gossip Girl, but like... I think he might like ascribe to be like one of Gossip Girl's biggest fans. Like, I feel like he might have come back to the school. Like, I'm gonna figure out who Gossip Girl is.
Maybe. He's like, it's got to be someone here. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
Why was he at the debutante ball? I kind of like missed that, because like Kate had to like, you know, jump through hoops to get into this debutante ball. Why was he just there? Like,
It was a gift from a teacher or a gift from a parent, like that. All those baskets that the teachers were eating in the lounge, like an invite specifically for him came with one of those baskets.
Oh,
Yeah, like everyone's glad that he's back.
Everyone's glad he's back. He's one of everyone's favorite teachers.
You know, clearly he played the teacher game very well in his previous tenure at that school, and he's back.
He's back.
But I feel like he's back with motive. Like,
there's no
2-year sabbatical for no reason.
Who was he? Who's he a sibling of? Who is he? Because we all know that Michelle Trachtenberg is back this season, right? That's her name. Yes.
Yes.
So I wonder if we all know her son also goes to that school. So I wonder if somehow maybe they're tied together.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know.
I like the way you think.
Thank you.
I do too.
Your twisted mind.
Well, speaking of twisted minds, let's talk about this debutante ball, because in pure Gossip Girl fashion, what this show likes to do for all of Act 1 is set you up with all these little random storylines and then give you one big kaboom in Act 2 and then a weird tiny Act 3 of wrap up.
Yep.
So we've got Monet, who's scheming. She's working with two girls that don't go to Constance, against Julian and whatever she wants to do. Max wants to use this debutante ball as his way of coming out as their beautiful relationship. I do love that we have Kate, who weaseled her way in, as we know, as we just said, and she makes her way to Monet's mother's room. Now, if everyone remembers, she had that huge moment that is burned into my brain forever against Kate in season 1. So now Kate is a little like tunnel visioned. She's a little too focused on now bringing down this woman. And the other teachers are like, what are you doing? This is not what you're supposed to do. This isn't the point of it. And she's like, I don't care,
Yeah, because I think Kate has this whole like vendetta against the teacher, or not the students and the parents, because she's very much getting forced into this corner of know your place. And she's like, what do you mean know my place? I'm a teacher. Like, how dare you talk to me like that? But they're like, no, you play a certain role in like molding rich young minds, like act right is very much how they treat her. And she doesn't like that, which is why she is this villain of Gossip Girl. But yeah, I think Kate coming into this season, being alone in Gossip Girl world, she's a little too squirrely. Like, I don't remember her being so gutless or like, heartless like that. Like, she had some guts, but like she's scheming hard in this first episode.
Hard.
And and it's tactless too. Like, it's just like, do you want to be found out? Why do you care this bad? Yeah. Like, it's aggressive.
It's aggressive. Shawn, you looked like you had something to say. Sorry, did I cut you off?
No, I almost feel as though like she doesn't care if she gets caught at this point. Like, she is so, like you said, like tunnel vision, like she just wants to take down Camille. She doesn't care if she gets caught in the process. And I think that's an interesting way to take the character, because she wasn't like this in season 1. She's definitely more of this like devious villain now in this season.
Yeah. And I kind of like it. And then to add just a nugget more onto it, when she gets into the room, the mother's room, that room was impeccable, by the way. That room was immaculate. That room was incredible. And sneaky new teacher catches her in there. And I'm just like, why is he breaking in? And we'll talk about what happens next in a minute, because we got to talk about the rest of the ball first. But I was like, why? Like, we just talked, he's what is that man doing? Yeah. So I just like maybe they'll become little partners in crime, because he hides in the closet with her, which I think, so then you learn he tries to have like the upper hand. And then when he does that, you realize he doesn't. And I think that was very, very smart writing. Monet has gotten Julian to do this debutante ball, and she keeps having these like secret but loud FaceTime conversations that no one hears about. These are the little things that bother me. She's around everyone and no one hears it.
Yeah.
And
I would be like, beep, beep. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
do you not like listen to people's conversations in restaurants and like, girls, like if somebody's having a full-on loud ass FaceTime in a room where we're supposed to be like practicing choreography and we just have a little break, I'm gonna be like, well, who is she talking to? Like,
yeah,
exactly. I guess especially with Rosie, which isn't true because everybody is sending information to Gossip Girl, so
everyone's watching. Everyone's watching. And especially someone like Monet, if Monet or Julian got, and I'm me in high school, they get on a FaceTime, I'm literally going to be like, you know what I mean? Like
100%.
What, like, so loud conversations about like ruining Julian's life, basically like scheming for the night to ruin the night and blah, blah, blah. But instead the night gets ruined for her. So I kind of love how all of this went down.
Yeah.
Monet has planned her own coming out in a blue dress, and she was going to have a female escort. But of course, Zoya gets in the way because Zoya always has a cause. And there was another girl who was fighting with her girlfriend because she couldn't escort her. And Zoya beats Monet to the punch with this other girl. And it's so, so upsetting to her. And then on top of like insult, she brings Davis to escort Julian. Like,
yeah.
Why?
And tries to like, use a fake Zoya email too, which I'm glad that their relationship is at a good place now where Julian's like, no, it's not Zoya. It would never be Zoya. Like, it didn't even cross your mind. Like, it was easily like unfracturable,
God.
Yeah, because I was over that last season. I
Yes.
mean, they hurt us. They're like, no more of that.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most endearing things about this show now is the dynamic between Zoya and Julian. And maybe it took being so annoyed by their catty back and forth last season for me to be like, oh, I love that they're together now, and their relationship is blossoming and growing. And I think that's one of my favorite parts of the show as of this moment.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the growth, there's a little bit of growth that we have been begging for. And that's, you know.
Yeah, their sisterhood. Which, we were talking about there's a struggle in learning it and it's hard to be there, but they're still going through the motions of it. Even when Zoya was like, I don't want to go to your stupid dead ball thing, she goes anyway because even if she has a motive, there's sisterhood there. They're trying to do all they can for each other.
Exactly. And then the mess that comes out of this isn't Zoya and Julian fighting. It is all the debutante girls getting in a fist fight for some reason. Like, I understand Julian and Monet, sure. But the rest of them, like, is this a bar brawl? Someone just threw a chair and everyone's fighting?
Why is everybody choking each other out? Like, I was just like, how unmotivated is this? Like, I understand those three fighting, but the rest of them?
Yeah.
I was like, that's
once again, just for dramatic effect, I feel like they add this stuff in there. Like, we need to amp it up a little bit. They're just all going to go at each other's throats now. It's like totally unneeded, but I'm not going to lie, I was kind of there for it.
I mean, I'm not fully dissing it. I enjoyed it as well. But at the same time, I was like, so we're in a Western and someone accidentally hit someone and now we're in a brawl. Like, that's
But see, my mind, like, having done the whole debutante thing, it's like in a New York society debutante party, like, these are some of the richest people in New York's children.
Yeah.
And then they're just going freaking haywire, full fist fight brawl. Like, this would be like Page 6 news. And it wouldn't just be Julian and Monet. Like, no, it would be Ambassador blah blah blah's daughter, Senator who, the owner of this building. Like, that's whose kids are here, So it's just like, why do we do this? Like,
I know. I just thought it was so random, but at the same time, I'm with you, Shawn. I also kind of love that. Julian tells her father to leave her alone. I love that he's like, I'm trying to reconnect with my daughter. I'm like, bro, I don't think there's any way for you to come back from this. So let's move on. And then possibly my favorite scene of the entire thing is Monet's mother and her in the room and her viscerally destroying her daughter. And I'm not even mad at it.
She chewed her ass.
She deserved it.
It's cutthroat.
Cutthroat.
Dragged her own kid. Like,
she's like, I have no pride for you. And I was just like,
who? Yeah, seriously.
Line like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed, to like the 10th power.
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa.
Yeah. And then if you remember, we have the teachers hiding in the closet. So like Matt, we're going with M name, started filming it. And this is where her mom admits to everything. She admits to bribing. She admits to buying her grades. She admits to doing all these things for her daughter. And she's like, what were you thinking having like a rapist here at this? You thought that was a great idea to take down your best friend? You're a moron. Like, it doesn't look bad on her. It looks bad on you. And it looks bad on me. And so like all of it comes to it. And it's just like, and it's being filmed. And I was just like, oh.
But there was a shot during that filming, or like, you know, that whole scene where you see them like Disney peeling out, like, and that while they're having this conversation. And I was like, don't show us their face. We're stupid. We know they're in the closet. Like, when I see that, I assume that, okay, now Monet's mom has seen that happen. She knows they're in the closet filming it. Like, why are we revealing them?
Because it wasn't even a close-up of their faces. It was literally an over the shot of Monet. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, she sees them. Yeah. Because why would you shoot a wide like that with their faces if that's not what was happening? I'm like, these people are not blind.
I know that was bad. And I don't think that either of them saw them in the closet. I think that was just a really like, oh, we just need to be really obvious and show that they're in the closet. Like, the audience is not that dumb.
Yeah. What I would have rather have seen during that was maybe during one of the lesser, like, villainous, vicious lines was to just pop back into the closet, see them look at each other, and then go back out. Like, don't show me from the outside. Because that doesn't make any sense.
No.
Again, it's like the dinging of the phones. It doesn't make any sense, you guys. Let's stop that. I'm like, why are we doing this? I did love this lovely scene with Julian and Zoya, where Zoya finally admits why she's been a dick all episode. And it's because she's jealous of her sister. And she's jealous of the relationship she's built with her father. And she's just admits some jealousy. And again, that's a moment of growth for Zoya that we have not had at all from last season.
And I understand it because it's an only child, you know? Like, her dad is her dad, her world. And now she's forced to share her dad in a capacity no one was prepared for. She was like, wait, you're going to help Julian debut? Like, we had plans? Like, that's crazy. And then... you know, she's kind of having to deal with this idea where to have Julian in her life is for Julian to also have her dad. And that's what it is. Like, it's not a pick and choose situation. Like, family means everybody's family, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we complained a lot about like the back and forth of last season, which I will still complain about to the end of this earth between the two of them. But this episode, with it being a actual sisterly thing, I think it's the only time it's ever been justified, and the only time this back and forth has been warranted, and the only time I believed it.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Sarah. I feel like there was so much conflict last season between the two, and it felt so forced. And it felt like, why are they fighting again? Why is this happening? It felt like they were going around in circles this time. And it wasn't even a big blowout. It didn't need to be. It could have just been a the conversation between two sisters, but it just felt way more authentic. You understood why these two were doing what they're doing and how it was like a conflict and resolution that made sense. And I appreciate that Gossip Girl is listening and learning.
Yes. Listening and learning. I like it. L squared. And after that big party, we have like the quick little mini wrap up setup for whatever. And this is Shan, what you kind of casually brought up earlier, Shawn. Shan drops the bomb that she's actually incredibly filthy rich, but it's the least interesting thing about her. So she never talks about it. And I love this.
Yes.
I love this reveal so much because that just shows that even their friendship is very genuine. Like she didn't become friends with her because she had money. And I think that's amazing. One of the disappointing things is that Max is accepting that Audrey and Aki are not ready to come out. Julian and Zoya might become besties, but I wrote Gigi. It's true. Gigi, Gossip Girl, is warning Julian about Monet and to watch out for her. And I think that was important. And then we see Julian and Monet have this final confrontation moment that sets us up for probably the rest of the season. And I am so happy to say we finally have an actual villain that we have been desperate for since season 1. We need this
100%.
person. We need the queen bee. We need the bitch. We need the one that's trying to run shit. And Julian is going to try and fight it because she's in this I'm a nice girl mode. But I don't know if she's going to be able to.
No.
Yeah. And I like that too, because it's kind of showing like you can't just turn a leaf, It's going to flip and flop back and forth. Like it's hard to just like kick who you are out of you, Yeah. And that's exciting.
Yes.
I'm excited for it. Shawn, are you excited?
Just having a villain, like you said, is something that we have been asking for. And I think Monet makes sense. And I think maybe once again, it took a whole entire first season for them to kind of build up this character a little bit for then this villain to actually have some impact to what hopefully will be a much better season this time around. I'm interested too to see like where Luna is in all of this. Like she's, it was always Monet and Luna, so is she going to take Monet's side and be like one of her, like her evil sidekick, or, I'm interested to see what they do with her. I just hope they don't make her a throwaway character. They've got to give her something this season.
I hope they don't make this a throwaway storyline. That was like my biggest worry is that it's going to be some type of ploy to like force Julian back into the spotlight, So
yeah, I hope not.
I hope that's not like the case. Like, like, look, I can help rebuild a reputation after tearing it down, because didn't like Monet want to be like Miss PR or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, that it's not like some stupid game like that and we're all nicety because I don't think that's what makes a good Gossip Girl. Like you have to have villains. Everybody can't be friends. We'll see.
I think too, what they did last season that annoyed the crap out of me was they would build something up and then they would resolve it super quickly rather than building the tension throughout the season. Yeah. And it constantly happened over and over again last season. So I'm hoping what they do this time is now that they've built up Monet being a villain, like let's have her be the villain of the season or longer, let's draw this story out and build upon it rather than just resolving it super quickly.
Absolutely. And I think she actually did have a pretty, I don't want to say even decent. She had an okay villain origin because all of season 1, she was constantly being dismissed by Julian. She was being squashed by Julian, being told like she's constantly told she'll never be Julian. And now she's like, watch me.
Yeah.
So,
and now we kind of know why she is the way that she is too, because she has a cutthroat evil bitch of a mother.
her mother is also amazing. Like I kind of love her.
Yeah, I do too.
She's incredible. But yeah, it's exactly why she is the way that she is. She's trying to be her mother, and her mother's also like, you'll never be me. So she has multiple people saying, you're not good enough to be who we are. And she's going to do her best to prove them wrong. And I can't wait to see how this plays out.
Absolutely. I have a big question, and I feel like it's the elephant in the room, but where is Obie?
Where is Obie? I totally forgot to mention that. He is missing this whole
Did he die?
episode.
No, because I think he left like New Year's early, right?
Right.
With the girlfriend? I don't
I
don't know.
Commenters will let me know.
Yes.
I'm hoping that when we figure out where he is, it's juicy.
Yes, because that character was already not super interesting, but are they just going to not have him be in this season?
I haven't read anything like that. So he's got to show up eventually.
It's just like, this is the season premiere and it's one of the lead characters. To not have him in the season premiere is just really strange.
And I don't even think anyone says his name.
No. Maybe once?
I don't even remember anyone mentioning him.
Are they just going to try to act like he didn't exist?
I know. I guess like maybe they're just like, we're mad at Obie. He left New Year's. We're not friends anymore.
If Obie doesn't exist, then season 1 doesn't exist.
Because he was the whole drama.
Yeah, he's the conflict.
Oh, I guess we'll just have to. He's on the poster, so we'll just have to wait and see.
You're right, though, Keiki. It better be juicy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope his dad is like, we're taking down this company and blah, blah, blah.
Right. They're like somewhere fixing things. I don't know. But yeah, is there anything else about this episode? I thought this episode started off a little lackluster, and then I thought it ended really strong. Yeah. And it made me excited to see where this goes.
There was a part of me when it first started that was like, I don't think I'm very excited for this. And then as it went along, and then once the Julian and Monet kind of confrontation, I was like, okay, like I'm ready. I'm back in it. Like bring on episode 2.
Yeah. Once I got past the bad wigs and the bad hair, I was like, okay, we're going. We're going.
It really took the whole Debutant Ball for me. And then I was like, okay, I can forgive the mini setups to get to here, but don't do this to me the whole season.
Exactly.
I also wanted some beauty shots at that Debutant Ball. Everyone was dressed so cool, and we didn't get like any close-ups of those dresses.
No, I agree. I wanted to see what they were wearing.
Once again, something about this Gossip Girl that just is really lacking is just like the glitz and the glamour and the style and like the excess, it's like
no pageantry. And Gossip Girl was filled, like brimming with pageantry. Okay.
Yeah. Give it to us, please.
Look, Kylie Jenner is full of pageantry. Like you can't, it can be like Gen Z isn't like that. Yes, you are. It just depends on who you are.
Don't say that. Not true.
Not true. Well, that's all I got, guys. Anything else that you want to say?
Bring on episode 2.
I know.
Here we go.
Here we go. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. And I will see you all next week. Shawn, say goodbye and where people can find you.
It was amazing getting together again for season 2. I can't believe it's been so long, but I'm so excited. Make sure to check me out on my YouTube channel, Lost in the Reel, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, Keiki, where can people find you?
I'm Keiki, and you can find me here and sometimes on QueueTimes playing Dungeons and Dragons on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Blackness and Dragons. Make sure to check that out. We'd love to see you guys there.
Ding! and I'm Sarah. I'm always here on Smells Like Teen Angst. And we will see you next week for Gossip Girl Season 2, Episode 2. Until then, bye.